listening to Season 8 of the award-winning Homemade Matters podcast.
Brought to you from the West Midlands in the UK.
We're just a regular family of 5 on a home education journey, and we want to share our journey with you and encourage you on yours.
So thanks for joining us, and here's this week's episode.
Hi everybody!
Hi!
Welcome to
Homemade Matters.
Season 8.
Episode 15.
My name's Luke.
And my name is Eden.
We were just discussing how many weeks of our academic year we've got left.
I think there's only like 6.
Yeah, 5 or 6, which has gone quickly.
It has indeed.
So, as ever, lots to talk about
Indeed.
this week. And I think, shall we start with your big drama performance?
Yes, yeah.
So, if you've been listening for any period of time, you will know that we've been building up to Wendy and Peter Pan.
Yes.
But it's actually next week.
It is.
So we thought we'd devote a bit of time to it because, actually, this week you were talking about it somewhere. So
on the radio.
Yeah, tell us about that.
It was really cool. So we got to sit in like this little room and talk to people about drama.
So what radio station was it?
Black Country Radio.
Black Country Radio. And how many of you were there?
So there was me, another boy, and then my drama teachers.
Okay. And the hosts of the show. What was the show called? Can you remember?
The Fizzogs.
The Fizzogs. We'll share a link in the show notes.
Yes.
So you can listen in. But what kind of things were they asking you?
So like what drama workshop is about and stuff. And then at the end we tried to do some Black Country accents.
Yours ended up Scottish, I think.
Yeah, mine ended up Scottish.
Yeah, you don't have such a deep Black Country accent.
Yeah, I don't. Well, I was born in Southampton, Daddy, so
That
I
is
shouldn't
true.
really.
That is true. You have
No.
one southern parent.
Yeah.
So, and what
Who
was
is
this?
you?
What was the radio studio like?
It was cool. So there was like these microphones and we had to share microphones because there was only 4 in there. And then as the music was playing, we all got to like chat. So that was nice.
So you're kind of off air. Were you in a little booth or
Yeah.
anything like that?
So it was like this small room that wasn't very big. Well, it's small.
And did it have any like acoustic panelling around the walls? You know, like I've put in the music room downstairs.
It might have done.
So it's not
didn't
too
really
echoey, but it was
notice.
quite small.
Yeah, I didn't really notice. And they had
Oh,
like a
that was
drinks
fun.
table for all of our drinks.
Yeah. So your first outing on live radio,
Yeah.
live on air.
And
How long was the show?
So the show itself was 3 hours long, but we only came on it in the last hour.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was really nice because one of my friends from drama said she'd made her parents look it up to
Yeah.
listen to it, which is, I was like, oh, that's so nice, thank you.
So the fun thing was that you and the older boy, who's in one of the older groups, both
Yeah.
home educated, which meant you were actually around in the
Yeah.
day on Friday morning to go on the radio
Yeah.
when other children would have been at school.
Yes,
So, really fun experience. And
definitely.
then you had your dress rehearsal
It was so
just this morning.
It was very fun.
So tell us about that. Where were you doing it?
So we were doing it at a college.
It's a special theatre, isn't it?
Yes.
The Evolve Theatre in Dudley. So it was a proper
Yeah.
stage and
It was a proper stage and like proper
lighting and
seats
seats and
lighting
everything.
and music. So it was really fun to do. And they gave us a tour and we've got dressing rooms and stuff and it's really fun.
So you got to learn all about, I guess, how a real theatre works. How did it compare then, the tour, to when you went backstage at the Wolverhampton Grand Theatre? What was different and what was the same?
I guess it was different because it was a college, so the theatre itself was smaller and the dressing rooms were just like group changing ones, so there was less dressing rooms. Whereas at the Wolverhampton Grand there was like loads of stacks and stacks of them. And also there was like other bits at the Evolve Theatre, so there was like like a dining sections and like recording studios and stuff, which I didn't really have at the theatre.
Yeah, very interesting. What was
Yeah.
the stage a similar size?
I would say the stage was bigger at the stage and backstage were definitely bigger at the Wolverhampton Grand, which is because it was a grand theatre, and it has like you can walk around the back of the stage, whereas at the Dudley Evolve Theatre there's like these 2 sides and then you have to go through doors and walk around like an actual wall to get onto the other side.
Wow, so interesting. So then the schedule was that you were going to do a run through once
Twice.
and then a break and then the full, like it was like a stop-start run
full-timed
through and then a
run-through.
full-timed run through. How did that go?
We were supposed to start the run through at 9 o'clock, but we didn't. Because like by the time everyone had arrived and we'd gone through the tour and everyone get their costumes on, it was after 9 o'clock. And then we only managed to do half of a performance. We didn't even do one, we just did half. So, yeah.
And why do you think that was?
I think it was just partly because people were like awed by the fact, you know, oh, we're on stage, this is actually happening, and I like forgot their lines, and also because we were focusing on the second half of the performance a bit more over the last couple of weeks at drama, and then so people hadn't
starting from the beginning.
Half,
first half was a bit less fresh in people's minds,
and also people hadn't learned their lines.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess it might encourage people when they know that there's a week left.
I reckon it would have shocked people a bit into like, oh, there's only a week left, better learn my lines. Yeah.
Wow, so really exciting.
Yes.
You've got your cast member T-shirt.
I have.
First of many, maybe.
First of many, hopefully.
What are you going to do when the play's over?
Be sad.
Start planning the next one.
Yeah. Well, I think next we're going to do something with films and telly and stuff and cameras.
Very interesting. Yeah, that would be really good.
Yeah. Also probably call my friends from drama.
Yeah. Really awesome.
Thank
So, wow, lots going on with that. And you've
exciting.
invested so much time in learning your lines. I hear you most lunchtimes you're learning your lines and other things. So,
I might,
you know, well
might
done
have heard
for
me screaming sometimes.
planning all of that. Yeah, I assume it's just acting these days. And not anything terrible.
Yeah.
So, yeah, loads have been going on, which is brilliant. Now, I think what we can talk about. Yeah, so Belle and I recorded a section last weekend, actually. And it was really lovely and sunny and warm last weekend, unlike this week.
Which is cold and frosty.
And Belle was lying on the trampoline and we were, you know, she was just enjoying the heat. So that comes across in her interview. So here is Belle, and then we'll take a quick break and then we'll be back. Oh, it's a lovely day. Where are we, Belle?
I'm in the garden.
Yeah, lying on trampoline. And you've been spending a lot of time outside, haven't you?
Yeah.
Were you planting some seeds earlier in the week?
Yeah.
Can you remember what seeds you planted? Did you have some sweet peas? So I think you had some sweet peas.
Yeah.
Any other types of... Have you planted any beans?
Yeah.
Yeah. And where have we got them growing right now?
Inside.
Yeah, on the windowsill. And we've got a few out on the patio. But we might have to bring them in. It's supposed to get really cold next week. I better bring them in if it gets cold, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, you have got a show coming up.
Yeah.
What are you going to do in the show?
We're going to do Alice in Wonderland.
Alice in Wonderland? Oh, that's so exciting. For all the mummies and daddies.
Yeah.
Have you been practising it on your drama club?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what are you most looking forward to about doing that?
Because with the guards and Luna's the Red Queen.
Oh, you're the guards. And do the guards have to do anything special?
They have to march.
Practice your marching then. That's really good. Wow. Should we carry on with... We've been putting out the chippings by the raised beds, haven't we?
Yeah.
So should we carry on with that?
Yeah.
Okay, bye everyone.
You're listening to the Home and Matters podcast.
Okay, we're back.
We are back.
So, lots going on.
Yes.
Belle was just talking, actually, about putting the chippings out by the raised beds.
Yeah.
It's been a pretty epic job, hasn't it, the last few weekends?
It has.
So, how many raised beds have we got now?
4. And we had one before. So Daddy built 3 of them.
Yeah, we've built 3 new raised beds.
We didn't have enough time to record the podcast.
Yeah, that is true. Well, I just wanted to get it all finished. So, they're made of scaffold boards, aren't they?
They are.
And they're pretty epic.
Yep.
They are 4 metres long by 2 metres wide. And because on a slope, you know, the average is 1.5 scaffold boards deep, but they're on a slope, so...
Yeah. And there's chippings.
Yes,
all around them.
we put some... We levelled it all off. I say we. I levelled it all off. And then we've...
Well, and
the
me and
geotextile down.
Asher Well, you put the geotextile down, and me and Asher put the chippings down.
Yeah, so we've
Mostly
got, and
Asher.
these are chippings. So we used to have kind of 3-story high laurel trees.
They were huge.
Outside on one side of the house, and we had them chopped down after we got the land because they were just blocking all the lights coming in. But we've kept all the wood, the big trunks, and then the little bits was all chipped, and we've had a huge chippings pile,
which is great and
so
awesome.
It's
and
been
great for swinging
has been
on.
great for playing in. But we're also putting it to good use now.
Sadly,
so it's really nice and sustainable. That we've sorted all of that, and we'd had finally had some of the stumps ground out, which I think we mentioned it probably in the last episode. But anyway,
probably did.
We spent a lot of March putting that in, and then in fact yesterday in the garden we were clearing right down the other end by the old pigsty.
You were.
And
you got bitten, sadly.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, why do I always get bitten so much?
They like your skin.
But I'll put some more. Again, I was clearing some of that. When we'd first cleared our big plot of land, we'd made a big pile of like the branches and all that kind of stuff, hadn't we? And it's all rotted down.
Yes.
Like composted down a little bit. So we dug that out, wheeled it into one of the raised beds, but then we put the geotextile down. You did, how many buckets of chippings did you do?
I did 10 buckets. It took me longer than usual because there was longer to
it's right down the other end of the garden, isn't it?
And also we were kind of like, we're going to have to dig past the line soon.
Yeah.
So I drew a line, which we can't dig past.
Well, we're going to have to, I think, soon.
Yeah, but Daddy, it's so fun.
I know. Now,
we're just digging it away.
We've had loads of fun trips recently, actually.
We have.
So
went to Legoland.
You went to Legoland Discovery Centre this week
on Tuesday.
On making use of our pass. What did Asher win?
He won the Best Build Challenge prize,
which is pretty good for flower in a pot.
Yeah, honestly, it was so good. It looked like it was professional.
Yeah, I bet he was so encouraged by that.
Yeah.
And then the other week you went down to look, there's a goldfinch.
Where? Oh yeah, it's always so pretty.
The other week you went to Mummy's old university campus.
Yes, we did.
Sutton Bonington, University of Nottingham.
Yeah.
What kind of things did you do there?
So we just looked around all the buildings and stuff. It was very cool.
Yeah, pretty fun. And
and we went to the Memorial Forest.
There's a Memorial Forest nearby, isn't there?
Yeah.
And some other bits.
We splashed in the puddles.
Yeah.
And it was very satisfying. And Asher and Mirabel got wet and dirty, but I did not.
And then you also went to Warwick Castle.
We did.
And you got a special kind of backstage tour.
Did we already talk about that? Oh no,
well, we
didn't.
did because it's coming up in a sec because one of the last weekend, another reason that we were super busy was because we went to a nuclear bunker.
Yes, that's what I remember.
Yeah.
We went to Drakelow Tunnels.
Drakelow Tunnels, which is a Second World War shadow factory to start with, and then it was like a bunker for the regional, in case of nuclear war. Mm-hmm. I guess with everything going on at the moment, quite a useful place to know is there.
And I think the government's brought back some like nuclear bunkers it hadn't before.
Yeah,
so that makes you think,
it's brought some of them back. Well, I suppose they've got to be prepared, haven't they?
Got to be prepared.
So we weren't allowed to do any recording or filming, even photos when in there. But we did a recording in the car beforehand. We did. And in the car afterwards. So here's our recordings before and after. Well, it's Saturday morning.
It is.
Yes.
And we've taken a bit of a drive through the countryside.
We have.
And we are sitting outside.
Well, inside.
We are parked outside. Where are we parked outside?
Drakelow Manor.
Drakelow Tunnels.
Drakelow
in the car.
Now, these are Second World War tunnels, aren't they? They were secret tunnels, and we're not allowed to take any photos inside. We've got to have the phone off. So we've got a special tour that we're going on, which is really exciting.
Very.
And it's an unobtrusive lane, isn't it? With you wouldn't know unless you looked hard that there's a big
tunnel.
Yeah, the big entrance into the tunnels. We're not far from Kinver, and it's probably the same rock formation that it's dug into. Kinver Caves.
Oh yeah.
So we're not far from there. We're actually really close.
Cool.
The cave houses, the National House Trust cave houses that are made out of that kind of orange, kind of the orangey brownie.
Mountains.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's the same. It's the other side of the mountain.
And we had ice cream when we went there.
So I'm excited about finding out what's down there, Do you think it's going to be? I mean, it's a lovely, warm, sunny day up top. What do you think it's going to be like inside?
Cold
Stuffy.
and drippy.
Stuffy and cold. Do you think they're going to make us? Do you think they're going to make us wear? That's an interesting point there. Ventilation. We should ask about that.
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to make us wear hard hats?
Probably.
Yes.
You do.
Yeah, because
Dad, the Second World War, and we're going to be under massive rocks.
Yeah, but I'm not sure. If it's all shored up, we don't have to wear hard hats in the London Underground, and part of that's really old.
Yeah, but the London Underground's safe, Dad.
Yeah, well, so they might say that this is safe.
But we believe them.
Yeah. And then, so yesterday, we used our Merlin passes. Well, you used the Merlin passes
Yes.
to go to.
Warwick Castle.
And what happened when not long after you got there?
We got to go on a special thing, and it was so cool.
The special thing. So you had a random act of kindness from a member of staff
Yeah,
for a secret backstage tour.
yeah.
So it's like 2 days in a row. You're getting special backstage passes.
Yeah, it was really cool. And we got to see like some secret passages and stuff at Warwick Castle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Was there like a special secret escape route or something?
there was.
Tell me about that.
Bit secret, Dad.
So
Oh, right. So you can't tell us.
Well, we could. He didn't say we couldn't tell anyone. But it was so cool, Dad. There was loads of secret doors and latches, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really
I
good.
didn't even know, because we were actually talking about whether there was any secret passages, and then there were. So next
Wow,
time,
that's
if you
so
ever
good.
go to Warwick Castle, look out for them.
Did I see that you got to try some armour on?
Yeah, we
I
did.
did.
It was really cool.
Well, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And I saw Mirabelle sitting on like an old-fashioned rocking horse.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
did. She got to kind of look at the doll's house.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. Right, do you think we should go and wait outside the car?
Maybe.
Maybe. But might
Let's do
be
that.
cold and stuffy outside.
It's lovely and warm. Right, we will debrief when we get out of
What does
the tunnels.
debrief mean?
Debrief is when you give a... so a briefing is something that you do before you do something, and a debrief is something that you reflect on after you do something.
Cool.
Yes.
Okay then.
So we will debrief when we've been
It was
underground.
Like what was the briefing called?
It's called a briefing. It's called a briefing before you do something.
Yeah. Oh, okay then. Cool.
Bye.
Bye.
Well,
Here we are.
not every Saturday that you spend your morning in a nuclear bunker.
Yeah, it was very cool.
So, what's this? Can you remember the story? What type of factory was it called in the 1940s?
So,
I've forgotten.
it was for making airplane engines, wasn't it?
It was called a shadow factory.
Ah, yes.
So they made parts, didn't they, for various aircraft engines.
Yeah.
And then after the Second World War, up until about the 1990s, it was something else. Can you remember what it was called?
It was a government regional
Yeah,
centre.
regional government headquarters.
Yeah.
So it was there just in case of emergency.
Yes.
And as well as having
So they're called-
kind of local government there, they had some other organisations that would have been based there.
Yeah, the BBC.
The BBC, yeah, for broadcast, and British Telecom.
What's British Telecom?
They at the time owned and operated the phone lines and
Ah,
things.
yes. Yeah, very
So-
cool.
Yeah.
It was super cool in there.
Yeah, so we weren't allowed to take any photos. But what were some of the
Audio
things they had in there?
They
Dormitories.
had like
Dormitories.
old computers
Yeah.
and stuff.
They had a medical centre,
Yeah.
Traffic cones.
a canteen.
Canteen.
So,
Yeah, it was very cool.
right, we're better head home, but we can
Yep.
reflect more when we're back home.
Yeah.
Bye.
Fun though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was so
Definitely
fun.
worth it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Nice to warm up though, coming out. A
Yeah.
bit chilly down there. Can you remember the temperature?
12 degrees.
12
it felt like
degrees.
it was colder than that.
Yeah, I
felt it
think
was
part
more
of that
like-
was the damp, maybe.
I felt like it was more like 4 degrees.
Yeah. Right, let's head home.
Okay.
then.
Bye.
Bye.
What's the one thing you really have been reflecting on most about our trip down into the nuclear bunker?
Do you want to say yours first? Because I wasn't really thinking about it.
I just think all the planning that they'd had, that it was just always there ready.
Yeah.
But my main thing is the amount of wine they've now got stored there. Like 10,000 tonnes or something. 10 tonnes worth of wine, which is 10,000 litres, and it's all expensive wine. I reckon there's literally millions of pounds. That must be why they didn't want any recording down there, because
They didn't want people
all of that
drinking.
wine is so valuable.
Yeah.
Maybe I should fill our cellar with more wine.
And you can have it like a mini nuclear bunker.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the best bit was like how much work the volunteers had put into it, you know, because they really want to, like, make it a proper museum, you know.
Yeah, they were really passionate about it, weren't they?
Yeah.
Really passionate about it.
Very passionate.
So, yeah, that was really good, and it tied in with the Second World War history we've been doing, but also the kind of the Cold War, all that modern history that you've been studying.
Yeah.
So, what period are you up to in your studies right now?
What bit? I can't. I think we're just past the Cold War, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think coming up this week, haven't you got some books to read about September 11th?
Yes. Oh, yeah, we have, yeah. I remember now.
So getting really quite up to speed. We've really worked our way all the way through.
We have. We've worked our way through
chronologically,
history.
which is really great. Great to have that big picture.
Yes.
So
I think we're going to stay in the 1900s, so, because, you know, personally I find the Middle Ages very boring.
Well, yeah, it was a hard time, I think, wasn't it? You know, the
it was
pace
basically just wars and stuff, and it was the Dark Ages, and it was very dull.
Communication was very slow, very hard. Like, people were very disconnected because, you know,
they didn't have any
the
phones.
pace of communication made a big difference with inventions and stuff. That's what we were thinking about with the timeline and stuff, weren't we?
Oh, yes, we were, yeah.
And anyway, also, you've been doing loads of great chemistry stuff. The Ellen McHenry chemistry modules we're really enjoying.
Definitely.
Now, tell me about one of the experiments that you did about salt crystals.
So we made some salty water, and in one we put half of it on one plate and half of it in another, and one place was left to dry in the sunshine by itself, and one we dried with a hairdryer, and the one with the hairdryer, it was like a really fine powdery crystal. Well, it wasn't really a crystal at all, it was like sand, because it hadn't had enough time to form into that salt crystal. They hadn't had enough time. But when it was with the one that was dried in the sunshine, they had enough time to dry out like properly, so there was beautiful crystals.
So they formed into crystals. So what was the takeaway message?
Basically, the longer it has, the more it was
to dry out.
To dry.
For that, I guess for the chemical. Is it a chemical reaction or is it conversion?
I think it's a conversion probably, because
it's changing
there's
from one thing into another.
NaCl.
Yeah.
And then, but
sodium
it was
chloride.
in water.
Yeah.
So the
so it's
H2O
dissolved. It was changing states.
Yeah, it was changing states because it was in the H2O. But yeah.
Yeah, it was going from a solution to a solid.
Yes.
So,
yeah, so that was interesting.
Yeah, that's good. I only went as far as GCSE chemistry. I didn't carry it on at A level.
Why?
I did English literature instead. Well, because if you really want to know, dear listeners, I did maths and physics so I could study engineering at university. But then I'd only got a B in chemistry, and I decided I didn't really want to do it in A levels. Didn't want to do just 3 sciences kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I did something. Someone gave me some really good advice, which was just do something that you loved. And so I did English literature, and I absolutely loved it. It was my favourite subject.
Yeah, that's good.
Which is really nice then that we have such a literature-based curriculum right now.
So it's lucky that you did English literature.
Well, it's lucky, I suppose lucky, but also,
Fun.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So, well, I think we should come to a bit of an end there.
Okay.
We've covered an awful lot. We did some
indeed.
outside recordings.
Yes.
And we've got lots to crack on with. So we'll be back in a few weeks' time with reflections on how the big show goes.
Yes.
And just some more of our general activities and adventures.
Yeah.
So all the details to get in touch coming up.
Please get in touch.
We love hearing from you. And,
We do indeed.
Have a great few weeks.
You too.
See you later.
Bye.
You've been listening to the Home Ed Matters podcast. We love hearing from you, so email us to homeedmatters@gmail.com. Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter and Facebook at Home Ed Matters, and visit our website at www.homeedmatters.co.uk. If you're enjoying the show, please leave us a review wherever you listen, like Apple Podcasts, Stitcher or Spotify. Thanks for joining us and enjoy your home ed journey this week.
They say absence makes the heart grow fond. Well, I've grown quite fond of you. Some people may think you're strange, but I think I'm strange too. It's raining outside, and it's raining inside too. I wanna go home, place where I'm known and where I know you. Walk familiar streets.